Hey guys, I'm Surfing Trail and Kale, and this is my On Cloudsurfer Next review. Now I do have the On Cloudsurfer 7 here with me because the Next is kind of the next step on from the Cloudsurfer 7, but it's a very different shoe. But don't worry, I'm going to tell you all about it, including how it compares to the Cloudsurfer 7. Let's start by explaining who the Cloudsurfer Next is going to be best for. Well, it's very much a daily trainer, just as the Cloudsurfer 7 was, but this is really designed more for those runners who want to run a little bit faster than, say, the Cloudsurfer 7 is capable of. Now, of course, you could run faster than the Cloudsurfer 7, but that is much better tailored as a cushioned daily trainer for getting recovery runs or just long, easy Sunday morning jog type runs. But the Cloudsurfer 7 is more responsive, it's got a firmer ride, and it's a little bit better tailored for running more on the forefoot and getting in those faster paced daily jogs. So I guess you could see the Cloudsurfer Next as the next progression on from the Cloudsurfer 7 for those who are now ready to start running faster on their daily jogs. That said, the Cloudsurfer 7 is still an awesome running shoe, and I absolutely love it just for bagging those easy miles, getting a really nice comfortable cushioned plush run, and especially if I want to get some nice easy long miles in, then the Cloudsurfer 7 is great. So it's not a replacement for the Cloudsurfer 7 by any means. It's a very different shoe. I would call this the hybrid of the On Cloudsurfer 7 and the On Cloud Runner. In fact, to me it feels a lot more like the On Cloud Runner. They're also going to be really good for heavier runners out there who maybe don't like a plush ride, because there are a lot of runners out there who don't want a very cushioned and plush midsole, because with that a lot of the time you lose stability and you will start rolling around and bumbling around in these shoes if you are heavier. If that sounds like you, then the Cloudsurfer Next could well be for you. And because of that, it's also a really good walking shoe. Jumping straight into the key specifications of the On Cloudsurfer Next. Firstly, they cost $150. I'll let you know by the end of this review if I believe they're worth that price tag. How do they fit and how do they feel? Well, they do fit true to size, and they have a medium to wide width. This lacing system here, which is fairly traditional, but it has these nice kind of attachments on the edge which give a little bit of flexibility. I guess you could call them eyelets, future eyelets, whatever you want to call them. They give this lacing system a little bit of extra stretch and give, but it is a very wide opening. So they're really good for slipping on, super easy, but you can also get a very wide fit. So if you have wide feet, then these would be worth giving a go for you. The upper is super comfortable right out the box, but the midsole does have a firm, stiff feel, which has been breaking in over time. But with that stiffness, you do get a nice stable platform too. The upper is very breathable, and it's using an engineered woven material, which is very supportive. Gives a really nice heel lock with the shoe, so you're not going to have to do any racer's loop heel lock method lacing setup on this shoe or anything like that. It will just fit and secure your foot right out of the box. The midsole is using Helion Super Foam and CloudTech Phase technology that you will have seen on the Cloudsurfer 7. You will have also seen it on the Cloud Eclipse. If I can find it. Where is it? Where's that Cloud Eclipse? Where have you gone? Here it is. Found it. CloudTech Phase. This is a much beefier cushion ride than the Cloudsurfer Next. This particular CloudTech Phase midsole with Helion Super Foam feels a lot different to the one on the Cloudsurfer 7. That's for a few reasons. Number one, the Cloudsurfer 7 has more of a heel rocker, but also has that nice forefoot rocker too. And you can see that gives a much more pronounced rocker across the whole length of the foot. The Cloudsurfer Next, however, just has It's got more of a rocker at the forefoot basically, and a lot less at the heel. Because of that, this shoe does perform better as a forefoot striking shoe. I'll go into that in more detail in my performance review, but just be aware of it. It's also much stiffer, so it's harder to compress this CloudTec Phase midsole. And the outsole is using mostly rubber compound. That's the black sections. The section under the midfoot here is just foam, so that's not going to be as durable as these rubber compound sections here. Be aware of that. Support is neutral, so if you have a neutral running gait, you don't have any over or under pronation issues, then the shoe's going to be good for you. That really is most of our runners out there, to be honest. And they weigh 9.6 ounces for a size US men's 9. That's my pair. Oh, and by the way, the On Cloudsurfer 7 weighed 8.2 ounces, so this is quite a bit lighter. If you're enjoying this review, please give the video a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe to this channel for more running shoe reviews and roundups, just like this one. And don't forget to hit that notification bell, that'll let you know as soon as new videos drop. Well, congratulations, you've made it to my performance review. First off, I'm going to talk about the ride of this shoe, because I do really like it, but it's just very different to the On Cloudsurfer 7. This could be very confusing for a lot of people out there, expecting a shoe that feels like this because it's got the Cloudsurfer badge. But I'm here to tell you it feels nothing like it. It feels a lot more like the On Cloud Runner, meaning it's a firmer ride, more supportive, and I guess you could say more stable. That said, it still does have a nice bit of response and spring to it, and it is more of a forefoot striker's shoe. It just lends itself better to that because of that forefoot rocker and the fact that the rocker at the rear is mostly being taken away. So if you do heel strike, you will feel a much harder landing on the platform. That all means that it's a faster runner's shoe. So if you are running faster, you're more likely to be running on your forefoot or on your toes. So it works really well for faster runners. Also, faster, heavier runners, you want a more stable platform. Now, I like to test how running shoes perform at different paces because the viewers out there, you, all run at different paces. So it's important for me to test that just to see if it's really bad as a slow shoe or really bad as a fast shoe, or the opposite. I can confirm that the Cloudsurfer Next performs very well within the range of around 4 minutes 30 per kilometer to around 6 minutes per kilometer. The closer towards the faster pace, you will notice it performing much better as intended. That said, I of course did test it from the perspective of a heel striker or a slower runner just to see how this rear end of the shoe performed, because it's not hugely cushioned. So if you do hit this platform, it is quite solid. That said, it's supportive and it is stable, so it does kind of protect your gait a little bit and helps give you good running form on your stride. The outsole has good traction, handles tight corners and uneven terrain like cobblestones, gravel, stuff like that. Handles that all very well, and there's no areas on the outsole where you might pick up stones, and I didn't. I tested this on gravel and no little pebbles or stones were getting caught in here, so that's great to see. I also really like the comfort in the upper. For the most part, the collars and heel counter are fairly soft. The tongue is super cushioned, super plush as well. But there is a little issue with this heel counter. You can see it's quite angular at the rear. It kind of just goes up across. There's not that much rounding off here. And it's quite stiff. It's quite solid. So I was noticing some rubbing points on the corner edge of this heel counter, and I have a feeling some other runners out there will do too. And you look at something like the Cloudsurfer 7, for example, it's just a lot more plush and rounded, but also it's a lot more flexible too. And then the only other thing I would do to change this shoe would be reduce the weight. It's quite a bit heavier than the On Cloudsurfer 7, so it's hard to know where this extra weight's coming from. Most likely the upper, to be honest. Maybe even the midsole foam, it's firmer. So I'm wondering if this Helion Super Foam is a higher density. That's what's giving it a much firmer ride. Other than that, it's a great, fast daily trainer for anyone who wants to start picking up the pace. Or if you're a heavier runner, You want that Cloudsurfer feel-ish, but you want a more stable platform, then these shoes are going to be good for you as well. But also, if you want a running shoe that's also really nice, stable and comfortable as a walking shoe, you want a shoe that can kind of do all of it, wear it in your day-to-day, but then go for runs in it, then the Cloudsurfer Next is a great choice too, because I think it looks really nice, looks great as just a lifestyle shoe too. When it comes to top alternatives then, well, you're just going to have to look at my best daily trainers roundup on trailandkale.com. That's very regularly updated as and when I review daily trainers that are good enough to make it onto that roundup. I will add them there, so definitely check that out for the latest and greatest. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this On Cloudsurfer Next review. If you did, please give the video a like and subscribe to my channel for more running shoe reviews and roundups just like this one. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.